Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. You have to love live broadcasting. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion, and I'm really excited this week because I recently returned from Cruise 360 in Fort Lauderdale, and I really am about as excited as ever about the leisure travel industry. I mean, the future optimism is really strong across the board, whether that's cruise travel or tours or all-inclusive vacations. Almost every vendor I spoke with last week is seeing big increases in bookings and requests, and they're really excited and hopeful, right? Knock on wood, that maybe 2022 could be a real record year. Now, time will tell, of course. We still have a lot of crazy things happening in our world, but it sure felt good to hear such positive news firsthand again. So we have a great show lined up for you today. Margaux Jones, Director of Creative Services, will be our featured Avoya Insider guest. Avoya Travel has just launched the Avoya Traveler, our eMagazine, and the first edition for spring of 2022 is out. And Margaux and her team played a vital role in how this all came together. So we're excited to welcome Margaux back to our show and to show off this amazing new resource for the Avoya Travel Network. The magazine looks amazing. And when you consider that as a member of the network, you can have it customized to your branding, this really has the potential to help you and your agency in a big way. And I look forward to having Margaux on the show here in just a few minutes. As always, it's been a busy week in the travel industry, and we'll feature what I thought were some of the interesting stories I saw, including the potential for energy service charges due to skyrocketing costs of fuel and all energy. NCL jumps into the metaverse. What is that? Well, we'll try and explain what that means if I understand it myself. And information on the next world's largest cruise ship from Royal Caribbean, as the 6th Oasis class ship is starting to be built and was given a new name. So we'll debut that name and a little bit of information coming up here soon. All those stories in our Eye on the Industry feature. We'll also touch base on best-in-class resources for both an experienced travel professional as well as our new to the industry friends. Avoya Travel, with our shared success business model, has the kind of resources that true travel professionals need to achieve their maximum potential. Business coaching, sales coaching, live leads, world-class support and education, and a partner that doesn't compete with you. Because at Avoya Travel, we don't sell travel. Only our independently owned agencies that make up the Avoya network do the selling. And trust me, they sell at a very high level, and they're the key reason we've been recognized as the #1 host agency year after year after year. So enjoy today's show, but make sure you put in that request and get connected with an affiliation specialist today. All right, let's kick it off. Today's edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. We start, as always, with some industry insights and our Eye on the Industry feature. I saw this interesting article on Travel Pulse today, and I know all of us know and experience the cost of energy is just skyrocketing right now, right? Really eating into the already slim margins that many travel companies have to begin with. So it came as no surprise to me personally that many of these travel companies are thinking of adding energy service charges to current bookings to help absorb some of that increase. And looks like my assumption is backed by the facts, as the Global Data's third quarter 2021 Global Consumer Survey is out, and it shows that to be true. The vast majority of tour and travel operators are considering that additional fee. Global Data analyst Craig Bradley is quoted as saying, as energy and fuel prices have soared, transportation companies such as airlines and rail companies, tour operators, cruise lines are facing higher overhead costs in 2022 than in previous years. Companies that choose to absorb these charges could struggle to turn a reasonable profit, forcing many to pass these charges on to the traveler. But it could have the opposite effect, right? I mean, that's what all of us would be worried about, causing the consumer to cancel trips yet again and hold off until energy prices have stabilized. So it's a big worry, because the same survey found that 50% of all American travelers in the next 6 months are focused on price, and 90% said they may alter their travel plans due to the cost of energy. We'll continue to follow this story and its impact on our industry. No doubt people are wanting and eager to travel. They're even willing to pay a premium to do so, but it's going to have its limits, and inflation, energy costs are going to play a big part in those future decisions. All right, so this should be fun. Let me try to explain a story to you that I'm not even sure I fully understand myself, but here we go. Norwegian Cruise Lines is jumping into the metaverse. Yeah, the metaverse. Not sure exactly what the metaverse is, Well, join the club. But in a nutshell, the metaverse is a 3D version of the internet and computing at large. So back to NCL and a story from Travel Weekly this week. The cruise line is auctioning off 6 non-fungible tokens, NFTs, in celebration of the launch of the Norwegian Prima, the line's first ship in its class. Now, what is a non-fungible token? Well, sorry, at a bit of a loss on that one. I can tell you this, though, that the NFTs have been created by Manuel de Rita, known as Pita, who designed the Prima's classes, the hull art that's going to be on that whole class of ships, and that the auction is April 13th. Bidding will start at $2,500, and the buyer of the first piece will also be awarded a balcony stateroom on Norwegian Prima's first U.S. voyage. So if you feel like diving headfirst yourself into the metaverse and you've got $2,500 to start, well, good luck. All proceeds will be benefiting the Teach for America. So enjoy the auction. And I think that's our first science nonfiction story we've ever featured here on Deck with Avoya. And finally, Royal Caribbean's next world's largest cruise ship has started to be built at the shipbuilding complex in France, and they've now given it a name. Utopia of the Seas will be the 6th Oasis-class ship from Royal Caribbean. Utopia of the Seas will be debuting as expected in May of 2024. It's going to have 2,800 staterooms. It'll overtake Wonder of the Seas as the largest cruise ship in the world when it debuts. Of course, Wonder of the Seas will overtake Symphony of the Seas as the world's largest when it debuts. I mean, they really have an amazing marketing strategy at Royal, right? A couple of inches on the front, a couple of inches on the back, new record, you get miles and miles of free publicity. In a related story, Royal Caribbean also recently began construction on the new Icon of the Seas. This will be the first of a brand new class of ships scheduled to debut in the fall of 2023. Icon of the Seas will hold 5,000 passengers, and one of the unique features, it'll be powered by liquefied natural gas. Innovations. That's one of the reasons that Avoya Travel is considered the elite host agency in leisure travel. We're always setting the bar higher and higher, and we're helping to invent the future of how leisure travel is sold today. So today for On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update, we're excited to feature our latest innovation, the Avoya Traveler, an amazing e-magazine that has just debuted to great fanfare. This is just another great example of the marketing capabilities offered exclusively to those in the Avoya network. And who better to have on the show to show off this amazing new magazine than Margaux Jones, the Director of Creative Services for Avoya Travel. Margaux was a past guest, and we had so much great engagement last year. We wanted to have her back on the show again today. So let's welcome our featured Avoya Insider guest this week, Margaux Jones, Director of Creative Services for Avoya Travel. Margaux, so great to have you back on the show again.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we have so many exciting things to cover, but before we do that, for those that may have missed your appearance last year here on Deck with Avoya, can you give us a little bit about your history and how you ended up working with Avoya Travel, Margaux?
Sure. So I grew up in the French Alps at the border with Switzerland, and I'm both French and Swiss. I came to California to learn English, and I ended up meeting who became my husband. I believe that things are meant to be, and I can say the same about working at Avoya. I wasn't specifically looking to find a lifelong job, but it's been almost 7 years now, and I don't see myself going anywhere anytime.
Once you get involved in the travel industry, it kind of gets its hooks in you. So, once you're in, it's hard to get out, right?
Yes, it's a pretty amazing thing to be able to help people go on vacation and sell vacation and dreams and memories. It's not too bad, I would say.
For sure. As the Director of Creative Services, Margaux, can you give us a little bit of information, maybe in the broad picture, about what that department does before we jump into some really amazing specifics?
So very broadly, we help make concepts and ideas come true. We create and support Avoya's design and marketing material for all consumer, network, and even internal communication. It's really cool. We get to work frequently with almost every department here at Avoya.
So one of the big reasons, well, it is the big reason we wanted to have you back on the show today was because of the exciting launch of the Avoya Travel eMagazine, the Avoya Traveler, something that you were obviously very involved in. Can you tell us a little bit about that how it came about and what we hope it accomplishes for the Avoya network?
Yes, so as you mentioned, it's called the Avoya Traveler. Our goal was to create a powerful, high-quality source of travel inspiration for our independent agency to share with their clients. It's not like a brochure full of logos and ads. We collaborated with our supplier and other sources to gather 160 pages of rich and meaningful content. It kind of bring you back in the days. It's really the type of magazine built around the reader. It's meant to be enjoyed while doing some R&R, get away from the fast-paced world we live in and dream about our next vacation.
So, I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, but it's a whole other thing if we can kind of show it off a little bit. So I'm going to remove my camera from in here, and maybe you can show off some of the highlights, Margaux.
Yes. So the magazine is divided into different chapters. First, we cover what has recently been happening in the travel industry, from new ship, new resorts renovation, new ways of touring, and change affecting the entire industry. Then we have a second chapter called Let's Travel With. This section allows the reader to learn more about our suppliers, what makes them so great, and which one will be the best fit for our next vacation, for their next vacation and ours.
So amazing looking.
Thank you. Then we have a chapter called The World Captured By, one of my favorites. There, the viewer can discover a city or a country through the lens of a local. In this issue, we featured a photographer named Maël. He's 21 years old, and he's from France. The Where to Next section showcase must experience destination. We cover remote, exotic places, but also more popular bucket list destination. We even have an itinerary section.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to go to every place you've just highlighted.
Thanks. And the magazine ends with recipes, because if you can't visit a destination, why not experience it through taste, right?
For sure.
This issue focuses on Italy with handmade pasta and pesto sauce. And my favorite recipe is the biscotti, but I will let you discover it on your own. The link to the magazine should be in the comments in the live stream. So from there, affiliates can go in MRC, the Marketing Resource Center. They can use our email template. It's very easy. They just copy paste and they can send it to their clients. They can customize it a little or a lot. It's totally up to them. We have little space for that. So they can also get the link from the MRC and post the magazine on social media, or they can even send the URL directly through text messages.
Wow. The capabilities are just so amazing. I mean, just really kind of blows you away. Margaux Jones, Director of Creative Services for Avoya Travel. Margaux, congratulations to you and your team. I mean, again, just another best-in-class resource that really makes Avoya Travel stand out. How often will the Avoya Traveler be coming out?
Thank you very much. It's a quarterly e-magazine, and believe it or not, we are slowly starting to work on the summer issue already.
Yeah, I'm sure one ends, one begins. There's probably not a lot of downtime with that. Margaux, the last time we had you on as a featured guest for On Deck with Avoya, we discussed our Marketing Resource Center, which only continues to grow in scope and importance to our network. Tell us again about how affiliates can, not only with the magazine, but really almost everything in that MRC can be customized to their specific branding, and just how powerful that resource is really for the Avoya network.
So yes, the goal is really to give the affiliates all the tools they need. Some of them want assets that really feel like they have been created by themselves. So for example, on emails, on top of customizing the actual body of the email, like I shown, they can choose to use an email that has the Avoya logo or without logo. So this is directly from MRC. They can use either or, but they can also reach out to my team and have their name or their logo added to the email header and have it either co-branded with Avoya or just have it on its own.
I mean, really the best of both worlds. And I mean, so powerful to be able to get this kind of content in the hands of the consumer, and because it's going to resonate with the consumer. And when it does, they're going to reach back out. So again, just another way to help those of the Avoya network to be able to close more travel sales. Margaux, I hate to put you in the spot. Maybe you can glance into the future for me for a second. Where do you see travel marketing and the use of amazing resources like this from Avoya's creative services team evolving to for the future?
So I would say at this point it's still in the dream state, but more on-demand capability for customization, like where an IA can request a project, like for example, a direct mail piece or other type of asset and customization, and we'll provide that for a fee. Something I forgot to forget that it's kind of part of the future as it's just happened, I would say very close present. The magazine, for example, we are able to give the IAs the HTML code so they can actually embed the magazine directly in their blogs or websites, which is like a new pretty cool feature. So the IA on their own website is displayed the actual magazine. No need to redirect a link or anything. They can have it right there on their own website.
It's like we're living in the metaverse. That's unbelievable, that all those capabilities for those in the network. And again, if you're not part of the network, why not? Make sure you reach out to avoyanetwork.com and get that conversation started today. We'll get you linked up with a specialist. They can answer all of your questions, not only about our capabilities from a marketing standpoint, but again, about all of the best of our best-in-class resources. All right, Marco, let's switch over and talk about you, the person, a little bit, some fun facts. Last time we chatted, we discussed all of your animals that you take care of. Any additions to the Margaux Zoo lately?
So no, both my husband have been good. We haven't added any, but it seems like my son, which is only 2.5-year old, is going to be a bad influence on us. I don't know. I can control myself, but I don't know how I'm going to be able to say no to him. He started asking for birds, for example. In his defense, we do have an empty bird cage, and having bird in it would be much more fun. But so yes, I think it's going to take more than self-control now. I'm going to have to, go along with a cute little someone asking me for more pets. And
so remind us what you have already, though, before you add the bird. There's already.
So not that many, I think.
Okay.
We slow down. We have 3 dogs, 3 amazing rescue dogs, all shape and size, from like part. We have a very small, very big. We have 3 snakes. They are ball python. They're very cute. They look like little dinosaurs. They're not scary at all. All my friends who are scared of snake, they're not scared of snake anymore. Then we have a turtle or tortoise. I'm not sure how to say that word. It's like the dirt one, not the water one. And we have fishes. So that's not that many, right?
No, I mean, small scale zoo, not large scale zoo, right? What about travel? Any exciting travel, journeys coming up soon for you, or anything pending?
So we have very, very big and exciting plan. Thank you to Avoya. I won a 2-person Azamara cruise at the Christmas party. And the plan, and I did say 2-person, which I'm not mad about. The plan is to go to France, drop my son at his grandma, thank you, Mom, and then fly to Athens, there attend a wedding. Then 2 days after we would leave for our cruise, go from Athens to Venice, then go back to France, meet my brand new niece or nephew, I don't know yet, and go back to the US. So very, very, very excited.
It is, I'm sure, especially for a chance to go home when you live so far away and to see your mom and things like that.
Yeah.
Margaux, when you lived in Europe, what was your favorite season and why?
You will know why if you see it. Spring, like I live, in the Alps, so everything is so green, so bright, so pretty. The birds, we do have birds here, but they are not the same birds. The flowers, and like there's river everywhere. It's just life everywhere. It's amazing.
So you must be kind of partial to like the winter in California, right? When the hills kind of at least attempt to take on that same kind of color of green for a little while.
Yes, exactly. We do have and I live like Southern California, so we do have a hill above the house, and I'm so happy because right now it's green and it's like that for only 2 weeks of the year.
Right.
Yeah. I'm realizing more and more how much I live in a desert.
Right. Yeah. Especially without any rain
Yeah.
in California. All right. So what about one travel tip? You said Swiss Alps. If I was going to Switzerland, what's the one travel tip that you would have for me?
I have two. I would say save up because it is very expensive there. I believe we have there the most expensive McDonald's in the world, which is just normal McDonald's. It's just very expensive. But I would say take the train. Travel and go from cities to cities using the train. Live like a local, you get to admire the landscape as you go. It's just the way of doing there. For example, I went to the art school of Geneva. I will cross the border with my scooter and drive to the train station. So it will take me about 15 minutes. And from there, I will take a 9-minute train to Geneva. Like it was not like, people take the train to go to work. It's normal. I guess we do that around LA too.
Sometimes.
LA or big city, but there it's just normal. Like you go see friends, you take your train. A lot of people of my age don't even have driver license. They just take the train everywhere.
It's so different, like, again, being in California, right, where people are, so emotionally attached to their car to think that, I don't even have a driver's license and I'm an adult, just kind of a different world. Always a travel expert here on Deck with Avoya. Margaux Jones, everyone, Director of Creative Services for Avoya Travel. Margaux, thank you again for your time and for that amazing look at the new Avoya Traveler. Again, congratulations to you and your team. It really looks fantastic.
Thank you very much.
So you wish you had something that slick to send out to your clients. So even with your branding on it. So make sure you reach out and contact us. We'd really love to get you connected with a specialist. Next week, we're going to be off on Thursday, but we'll be back in 2 weeks, April 21st, and we'll be featuring one of our great affiliates, Cherie Doran, owner of Cherie Travel LLC, an independent agency in the Avoya Travel Network, for a Meet the Network segment. If things go as planned, Cherie will be joining us live from the Navigator of the Seas. We tried this one other time, but then that sailing got canceled with a different guest. So we're really excited to have somebody on deck for On Deck. Again, that'll be April 21st at our normal time. Okay, so let's really quick talk about resources for those that are either new to the industry or those that are experienced, because our resources are really geared to meet you at whatever level you are in the industry. If you're new to the industry, programs like our Foundations for Early Success, where you're really just learning as far as establishing best practices and all the things that you're going to use as a foundation to build your business from there. If you already come in and you've hit the ground running and you're experienced and you just need a better home, again, we have the resources and that extra sales coaching and the business coaching and our live leads. And of course, everything we just saw from Margaux and Creative Services, again, to help your agency have hopefully the best year it's ever had in the industry. So please reach out. We would love, again, to get that request. And how do you get in touch with us? It is pretty simple. My email remains chris.green@avoyatravel.com. There's the toll-free number. avoyanetwork.com, a wealth of information. We, again, would love to hear from you. So please reach out and start that conversation. Again, we're off next Thursday, back in 2 weeks on the 21st. Big thank you again to Margaux Jones for that amazing look at the Avoya Traveler. Big thank you to Marissa Smith in marketing for doing a wonderful job, as always, producing our show. Thank you for being part of On Deck with Avoya. I hope you have a great couple of weeks. Until we talk again, have a great day, everyone.